So far this season, the Sacramento Kings have gotten off to a great start. We're 4-0, and I'm trying to make it 5-0. We're going to be on top of the West. What can I say? The Kings made the right choice by drafting me. When am I going to be in the starting lineup? Because every time I'm in the game, we start doing good, and look at that cheese. Look at that travel. His left foot is the pivot. And then he just busts out a spin move without dribbling the ball, a pump fake, up and under. Oh my goodness. There have been so many traveling violations already, and it's only been 5 games into my season with NBA 2K14. It seems like the traveling violations, the traveling cheese, those moves are just increasing in frequency. And this is a funny possession. You see, I get the steal, I'm going for the layup, and then I do a spin layup, and I didn't want to do a spin layup. All I did was press up on the right stick. I thought if you wanted to do a spin layup, you had to swirl the right stick around. I just held it up. But sometimes with the pro stick, that's what happens. When you're driving to the hoop, you never know. You might pull off a spin move just like I did right there. Now, I'm still waiting for 2K to announce my team on the next gen or tell us, if we're going to be able to do that. So I think in the meantime, I'm going to start a LeBron path to greatness mode on the current gen. I'm going to run that series alongside of my career up until the next gen consoles release in mid-November. I'm going to be getting both next gen consoles, the PS4 and the Xbox One. In the first year, I don't know which one is going to be the lead console. I don't know when it's time for me to get a game that's on multiple platforms. I don't know which one I'm going to go with just yet. So for 2K14, I'll get it on both. And here's another crazy possession. I should have known after that first traveling play. Look at that. I was driving to the hoop, but I didn't get free throws there. It said a blocking foul. Look, we're taking it out of bounds. That's some more cheese. I'm popping the mid. I missed that, but my boy Cousins is going to clean it up. So good thing we were able to still get the score there because that was some cheese. So this year, it's a really strange year for 2K because with the next gen coming out, the consoles coming out, everything is just sort of haywire right now. We've got a month and a half that's just in the balance. I don't know if this is going to be the forbidden season. Is this the season right here? Chris Smoove on the Sacramento Kings. Is this season going to be completed? I have no idea. And it makes me remember when the Xbox 360 first came out. Because NBA 2K6, which came out for the original Xbox and the Xbox 360, it wasn't until the following year with NBA 2K7 where the Xbox 360 version saw its true potential. We had all the players having their own signature shots and all these new animations that weren't on the version from before. And NBA 2K7 was actually the game that made me get an Xbox 360 because that was, that version of the game was so much better than the original Xbox. I said, I gotta have that. I have to have all the signature shots. I have to have all these new animations. So that's when I upgraded. And then of course it had HD gaming. So the first year of implementation wasn't really worth it. It wasn't until the second year when it was like, okay, I have to go ahead and upgrade. Me being a big basketball fan, I had to do it. So that's why it's got me thinking this first year with NBA 2K on the next gen, it's got me thinking. Now here is a problem that's always been in 2K. You see, I get him up in the air with the pump fake, but I couldn't go by him. I got stuck in an animation. It took me a while to start dribbling. Hopefully in the next gen, when you get somebody up in the air like this, you can just explode immediately right by him and go to the rim and not get that delay right there. You see that delay in the dribble, slowing down, and then I even kind of traveled, skipped a few steps. Now it's chaotic. It's all kind of contact, collision, and that shouldn't be. I got him up in the air. I should be able to go right by him smoothly to the rim and attempt a layup. Now back to 2K14, it seems like this year, what they're trying to do is they're trying to make these games different. The current gen and the next gen. They're trying to make the next gen a different experience. And it makes sense, but at the same time, I think it's a mistake. Because if that means that game modes are going to be exclusive to one console, and I think that might be the case. I think there are going to be modes that are going to be missing, and I think that's a mistake because I feel like the next gen version should be everything that the current gen is plus more. So whatever else they got going on for the next gen, whether it's graphics, gameplay tweaks, and any new modes that they're going to introduce, that's great, but they still need to have all the previous modes on the current gen as well. So for instance, just as an example, let's say that the next gen version, and this is just all hypothetical, but let's say the next gen version doesn't have My Career. So current gen has My Career, but next gen doesn't have My Career. That would be a fail. Why would I play the next gen version of 2K14 if it doesn't have My Career? Yeah, it's the next gen version. Maybe it has some kind of new mode, but if My Career isn't there, then I have to go back to current gen. No, the next gen version, you should never have to go back to the current gen to do anything. So whether that's to play my team, whether that's to play, anything, if anything is missing, I feel like that's a mistake and that's not what people want. I understand that it's the next gen and they want to make it a different game. They don't want it to be a port, because it seems like that's what they're saying. They're saying all the other games that are coming out this year are going to be ports. So the next gen version and the current gen are going to be exactly the same. The only difference is the graphics. So with them, they want to make it a totally different game, have different modes. But from my perspective, I know that the next gen version is going to have better graphics, better physics and gameplay, because we saw in the trailers the way the players are running it looks different. So of course I want to be able to still play a mode like my team on the next gen, because the gameplay, the graphics, is going to be better. So I want to be able to play the game modes as well. I don't want to be missing that game mode. You see what I'm saying? So I think that this year, whatever fails like that might happen, because this is still, again, this is all hypothetical, but whatever's not there, I think next year we're not going to have this problem. I think next year's version, they're going to have everything from the current gen in the next gen plus more. They're not going to allow the current gen to have exclusive game modes and content. That doesn't make any sense. That's a fail, in my opinion. So I think after the first year, all of that is going to go away, because it seems like that's what's happening this year. So let me know what you think about this. Would it be a mistake? Would it be a fail in your eyes if the next gen version was missing game modes like My Team or anything else from the current gen? Obviously, next gen is supposed to have modes that aren't on current gen, but if it's missing anything from current gen, do you think that is a fail? Leave it down in the comment section below. I'd like to know your thoughts. And this was our first loss of the season. We are now 4-1. I shot pretty bad, but everything else was great.
You are picking pockets left and right in tonight's game, setting your career high in steals. Were you specifically focused on getting as many steals as you could?
I like to try to make my mark each game on both sides of the ball, but it's fair to say that I've been making defense a priority lately, and this game showed the result of my hard work. I want to make sure my opponent is well aware that they better protect the ball or it's going to be mine. As you saw tonight, I took advantage every chance I had.
After this game, I finally got my first endorsement to go with Nike or Jordan. Last year I went with Nike. This year, should I go with Jordan? I'm actually going to stick with Nike for a couple of reasons. First, it seems like Nike has more shoes. And second, when you're making your own shoe, you want to be on Nike. Like LeBron. LeBron has LeBrons, they're on Nike. He doesn't have LeBrons on Jordan, they're on Nike. So when you have your own shoe, you want it to be on Nike and not Jordan, because they're not Jordans, they're going to be your shoes.